Imagine stumbling across a quarter so rare it could pay off your car, your house, or even fund your retirement. Sounds like a fantasy? Think again. Today, we're diving into 5 of the most valuable U.S. quarters ever minted. Coins that have sold for $300,000 or more. One could be hiding in your pocket change right now. Stick around to learn what makes these quarters so special. And if you love uncovering hidden treasures, don't miss the next rare find. Let's jump right in. First up, the 1966 Washington quarter, a coin that seems ordinary but holds secrets that could make you rich. This circulated example shows where Washington's profile is softened, with light scratches across his cheek and jawline. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" are still readable, though faded from years of handling. The reeded edge is slightly worn but intact, giving it that classic circulated charm collectors call honest wear. What makes the 1966 quarter stand out? It was minted during a transitional period. The U.S. Mint had just switched from 90% silver to copper-nickel clad in 1965, but a few 1966 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These off-metal errors are the holy grail for collectors. One verified silver error sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $420,000. Even standard-clad versions in pristine MS-67 condition can fetch $10,000 to $15,000 due to their rarity. No proof coins were issued in 1966, making high-grade circulation strikes scarce. Here's a real story. A collector in Indiana found a 1966 quarter in a jar of toll change. It weighed 6.25 grams, heavier than the standard 5.67 grams for clad coins. Certified as a silver planchet error, it sold for $375,000, paying off a mortgage and funding a grandchild's education. So, weigh your 1966 quarters. Check for doubling in quarter dollar or die breaks on the eagle's wings. A heavier coin or visible error could mean a six-figure payday. Next, we have the 1968 Washington quarter, a coin that looks like pocket change but could be a gold mine. This one's well worn, with Washington's hair and jawline smoothed from decades of use. The date, 1968, is clear, but the "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" inscriptions are softened. No mint mark confirms it's from Philadelphia, where over 220 million were minted. Most circulated examples are worth face value, but collectors are obsessed with this year for its rare errors. Now, let's talk about the 1978 Washington quarter, a sleeper hit that hides incredible potential. This circulated coin shows moderate wear. Washington's profile is faded, with light abrasions across the surface. The date and "Liberty" are legible, and the reeded edge holds up despite years of handling. Most 1978 quarters, minted in huge numbers, are worth just 25 cents in this condition. But rare errors make this year a collector's favorite. In 1978, some quarters were struck with dramatic errors, like double die obverse or off-center strikes. A verified double die, with clear doubling on "In God We Trust," can fetch $10,000 to $50,000 in high grades. Even more shocking are quarters struck on wrong planchets, like dime blanks, which weigh less than the standard 5.67 grams. One such error sold for $85,000 at auction. Another rarity is the broad-struck error, where the coin was struck without a collar, causing the metal to spread. These can bring $2,000 or more. A retiree in Florida found a 1978 quarter in a coin roll that turned out to be an off-center error, selling for $12,000. Check your 1978 quarters for odd weight, doubling, or misshapen rims. You could uncover a hidden gem. Moving on to the 1990 D Washington quarter, a coin that seems common but can stun collectors with its secrets. This Denver minted quarter shows heavy wear. Washington's bust is smoothed, and "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" are faint but readable. The D mint mark is visible, and the eagle on the reverse is worn, with faded feathers and shield details. Over 927 million were minted, so circulated ones are typically worth 25 to 35 cents. But errors change everything. The 1990 D quarter is known for off-center strikes, where the design is shifted dramatically. A 50% off-center coin with a visible date can fetch $250 to $2,500. Clipped planchet errors, where part of the coin is missing, bring $100 to $300. Double strikes or blockage errors, where one coin's image is pressed into another, can hit $1,000 or more. A rare transitional error on a nickel planchet could command $5,000 to $10,000. One collector found a 1990 D quarter in a bankroll with a clipped edge, selling it for $1,500. Weigh your 1990 D quarters and use a loop to spot doubling, cracks, or odd alignments. Even a worn coin could be a collector's prize. Finally, the 1982 D Washington quarter, a coin with a story that shook the numismatic world. This circulated example shows moderate wear. Washington's profile is softened, with light scratches. The D mint mark is intact, and the rim is mostly even. What makes 1982 D special? The U.S. Mint didn't issue mint sets that year, making high-grade examples rare. Even circulated coins in AU condition can sell for $75 to $100. The real excitement comes with errors. Some 1982 D quarters were struck on copper planchets meant for pennies, weighing 3.1 grams instead of 5.67 grams. One such error sold for $325,000. Missing clad layer errors, where the nickel coating is absent, exposing copper, can bring $28,000 in near-mint condition. Double die obverse varieties, with doubling on "In God We Trust," fetch $12,000 to $18,000. A 50% off-center strike sold for $9,500 in 2023. A grandmother in Ohio found a 1982 D error coin in her change jar, selling it for $15,000 to fund a family vacation. Inspect your 1982 D quarters for odd weight, coppery tones, or doubling. That worn quarter could be a six-figure treasure. These quarters prove that pocket change can hide life-changing value. Weigh your coins, check for errors with a loop, and don't toss them into a jar without a second look. You might be holding the next numismatic legend. The 1968 quarter shines because of minting mistakes. Some were struck with double die obverse, where "In God We Trust," or the date appears doubled under a loop. Others have off-center strikes or were minted on nickel planchets. These errors can push values from $15,000 to $75,000. One MS-68 example with a double die obverse and stunning luster reportedly sold privately for $325,000. Even a well-preserved MS-67 coin without errors can fetch $2,500 at auction. A collector once found a 1968 error coin in a vending machine's change, worth $30,000 after grading. So, inspect your 1968 quarters with a magnifier for doubling or odd strikes. You might be holding a collector's dream.